Hey guys, Revan here, and welcome back to episode 6 of AstroBlock, where today we're going to continue on with Galacticraft, move up to a tier 2 rocket, and see about some wireless power. So sit back, enjoy the episode, and let's see what we can't get done. The last episode, we made it to the moon and back somewhat successfully and somewhat safely. We do still have our digital miner up there, so we're going to have to traverse back up to the moon to get that back. But in between episodes, I did a little bit of working to try to get some of the grind out of the way so that we can actually make some progression this episode. I did upgrade our solar panels to the advanced solar panel. We can't go any higher than this as of right now, because I believe we need to get to I'm not sure if it's Mercury or which planet it was. Let's see here. So the next step of solar panel is the hybrid, and that's going to require magnesium. And from my understanding, if we come over here, Saturn, there it is. So we need to get to Saturn, and before we can even get to Saturn, we need to get to Mars, and then to Phobos, and then to Venus. And I'm trying to see how far along the line here Saturn is. Yeah, so Saturn is about halfway through the pack. So it's going to be a minute before we get there. But I'm not in a huge hurry, considering that these things are really just kind of powering this upper bank of batteries that I have set up for the Galacticraft machines. And I've decided to kind of leave those there for now, just because of the fact that it doesn't really seem like there's any way to get these guys to stop draining energy. So until I can get to a point where I don't care about how much energy these things are just constantly draining, I'm gonna have to have them turned on and off. So I kind of want them on a separate power network. I also did make the refinery because part of the quest for the tier 2 rocket requires filled fuel canisters, and those have to be done in the refinery. But first things first, one thing that I want to work on is we did a little bit with our android to the point where, we got some basic nanobots and we don't really have to eat or breathe anymore. But we still are limited to power. Every once in a while, I have to come over here, grab the battery out, jump on my charge pad, and then toss it back in. So I don't want to have to do that if I don't have to. And I believe one of the ways that we can do that is by making the charge station. So that's going to require a force field emitter, some dilithium crystal, which we should have, eye vendor, which we should have. Obviously, we can make a redstone repeater. Machine casing, I think I have an extra one of those on standby. But no, I think the only thing we don't have are these high capacity batteries. Actually, machine casing, yeah, we can make that real quick. The batteries are going to be 2 of the regular batteries. So we'll just, I forget, I don't want to actually have them in my inventory. Yeah, see, hopefully this allows, okay, so we can get this and, all right, so that one's already in there. So now when we come into here, we can get our charge station. So I'm trying to think of a good place to put these things, and I'm thinking we can probably just, I don't know if I want to just toss them right here and run a cable underneath. I think we may just go for that for now. There should be a power cable in this wall. Yes. So we'll just grab this and run it underneath here, and we'll kind of make this our little android area. So let's just grab us up some flux wires. Should have plenty of those left over. And we can just run you underneath. So we'll start like that and cover our wall back up so it looks halfway purty. And of course, you always got to make one mistake, If you're not making mistakes, you're not Minecrafting hard enough. All right, so in order to move this, we can use our pickaxe, but it's going to be the slowest thing that ever occurred in this world. So highly recommend that you make the titanium wrench here, because that will work kind of like the crescent wrench and just allow you to pick things up. The crescent wrench won't do it, but the actual matter overdrive one will. So we can toss that in there, and then let's put our charging station in the middle, since ooh, that's going to look a little bit ugly since it doesn't actually carry everything up. But this will charge me as long as I'm in a range of 8. Now we can add on some upgrades here. We can do 2 upgrades. So let's go check out what those upgrades are actually going to entail. So let's just come on over here. And oh yeah, it actually has to be in your hotbar. It won't let you actually look into your inventory. So we'll toss those in there. So we're using a lot more power, but our range is now 800%. So that should be, I think, close to 32. Oh, nope, 64. So as long as I'm within 64 blocks of this charger, it should charge up my battery and keep me well. So I mean, we'll still have to worry about when we're out and about, worrying about how much power we're consuming and stuff like that, because I don't think that there's really any way to charge this when we're out and about. I will have to look into that, but for now, you know, it is something we're gonna have to keep an eye on. The other thing that I made is I made a weapon station, because I wanted to look at upgrading our rifle and our shotgun. So if I take my rifle here, let's see. Nope. All right. So it looks like we can put stuff in our inventory, and I don't know if that's based upon the item that you're holding or what. I think if we, okay, there it is. So the phaser rifle, we can add in, I'm not sure what this is, but we can get a receiver, a scope, a battery, and whatever these guys over here are. I think these are just like color modifiers if I'm not mistaken here, but let's, at least for now, go for a scope, a battery, and one of the receivers. All right, so I made a few upgrades here. We got a high capacity battery, dilithium focusing matrix, which should increase our damage to 150%, and the sniper rifle. So I believe we just have to add these guys on over here and pull out our phaser rifle. And now if we look at it, we are doing 13 damage as opposed to what we were doing before. So I say we do the same thing with the plasma shotgun. And there we have our shotgun, all nice and done. So we now have 25 damage on the shotgun as opposed to the 17 that we were sporting before. And we do have more capacity. So we'll be able to store more, shoot more, and all that other good stuff. Now, one of the things that I want to work towards, especially for the Android, is going to be attack power. So inside of the actual options for your Android, you have a couple choices. Obviously, when I unlock nanobots, I now can either go up or down. If I go down, I'm choosing to align myself more towards defensive states. And if I go up, it's going to be more for offensive. Now, there's really not too much in this pack that's really going to let me have it as far as damage is concerned. So I'm thinking that we can kind of stay away from the armor and we can just go up and go through the attack power here. Now, if later on I decide that I don't like being attack based and I'd rather, you know, have the defensive edge, I can take a yellow pill, I believe, which will reset all of my settings here. Now, I don't know if that gives me back all of my XP or not, but yeah, hopefully we won't need that anytime soon. So eventually, once I upgrade enough, I'll be able to get into flash cooling, which will allow me to pretty much spam the phaser rifle as well as the shotgun and not really have to worry about cooldown as much. And by the time we get up here, we should be making enough RF where it doesn't really matter how much we spam, but we got a ways to go there. So for now, I think we need to we needed to unlock the nanobots. I think we need to get up to at least probably around 4, which I think is the max here. And then we can get into attack boost, but that's going to require 30 levels and not really having any type of XP farm where it's going to take us a minute to get there. So things we can do for XP. I was kind of looking into that. Now, this pack does have deep mob learning, which is a fun pack and gives you some pretty nice options. Like the glitch armor, it gives you creative flight. At least it's supposed to. I don't know if it's turned off or not in this pack, but it's pretty good armor and it gives you creative flight. So a lot of packs that I've played in the past, I kind of focused on going into deep mob learning really quickly because you can get you can get the glitch armor relatively quick, and it really helps out. But in this case, I'm less interested in the flight and more interested in the overworldian matter, because that can give me XP. So this is going to kind of act like my mob farm. So in order to get into this, we're going to need glacial ice shards and redstone. From my understanding, these glacial ice shards only appear in snow biomes, and I don't think we found any of those yet. But let's take a look here. Do we happen to have any? We don't. All right, and yes. So these come from glacial ice and shards. So I think a good thing for us to do right now is going to go on a little bit of a walkabout and try to find us an ice biome. So I am going to go wander around for a bit. So hopefully we can at least get into the very basics of the deep mob learning, and then I'll be right back. But before we go, I just had a thought. If I'm going to be outside traveling a lot, I am going to need a fairly constant regen on my jetpack and my flux capacitor. Otherwise, I'm going to have to go out a ways and come back. So I think what we probably should do is get into wireless power. And the easiest way for us to do that is going to get into flux points. So in order to do this, we need a few things. We're going to need a controller. We're going to need, where are you? A point, and we're going to need a plug. So we should have everything that we need for this, at least the basic resource side. So we're going to need flux blocks and flux. Flux is made, I believe, throwing redstone into lava. So, and you can just toss this in. You don't have to worry about it actually burning up in the lava. It'll just bounce off. And as long as you have some sort of magnet on, it'll get picked up. I do need to increase my magnet one of these days, but that should be a good start as far as the flux goes. So what do we need here? We need some of these cores, which we're going to need Eye of Enders. So let's just grab us, I don't know, let's say 16 for now. And ooh, looks like we're going to need more obsidian. So I'm going to get cracking and make us some obsidian. Okay, we compressed up some obsidian. Wasn't too bad. So let's take, ooh, I guess 60. That's a good number for now. All right, and then flux blocks, we're going to need at least, what, 5 of these for the controller. So let's grab you. And then what do we need for the point? We need a redstone block. We have that. And a plug. Oh, what are we missing for the plug? We need one or more of these flux blocks here. Plug. And there we go. Now, I think we should just be able to take this plug right here. And let's see. Can we toss you? Let's just say right there for now. And then say network. So we have to create a new network. Power. All right. So let's create this. Come over here, select the network, and there we go. So now we are sending power wirelessly, and we can just take our flux controller, and it doesn't really matter where we put this. We'll just set this here for now, and we'll send that on home. Now, as far as the settings go, all right, so right hand, left hand, let's just check this and go home and turn on power. So now we should have wireless power, sending power constantly to our armor, our baubles, our inventory, our hotbar, and what's in our hands. So we should never theoretically now run out of energy in our flux. one thing we need to do to ensure that is probably chunk load the base. So if we take a chunk loader, all right, and we can just toss you down right here. Now let's ensure that this is getting power. So we want to create a channel and down, insert power into it, and let's set this priority to a 1, just so that we're sending power to the wireless first before we're sending it anywhere else. So that should be good. Now if I check my capacitor, I am full. If I just fly around for a bit, our power is still full here, and it's not on the jetpack. Is that because you are not turned on? This is interesting. We should be receiving power into our jetpack, but we don't seem to be. All right, so to be honest, I'm not really sure what's going on here. I am getting my flux capacitor is being recharged, so are my rifles and stuff, but the jetpack is not. Now, if I take it out and put it back in, it fully charges. So I don't know if it's a visual glitch or what it is, but we'll call it good there. So I'm going to go on a little bit of a walkabout as soon as I sleep, and we're going to try to find us a ice biome. So BRBs. All right, so I just started flying around and I found something kind of amusing here. I'm just north of my base, but I think this is a witch hut. And I don't think the generation really kind of happened like it was supposed to. So I'm just gonna check this out real quick with you guys. Yep, just a standard old witch hut. Hey. Oh, she had a bad day. All right, and there's a structure down here that I want to check out. That looks like bone blocks over there. It's like we got like a little mini dungeon tower over here. What do we get? Luck of the sea. Nothing in here. He had a bad day. And that seems to be about it. All right, I'm going on with my exploration, and I'll bring you guys back if I find anything else interesting. All right, well, I did come across something a little bit interesting here. Yeah. Jetpack's still not charging unless I take it off. So this is just some random quartz tower here. If I come in, there's a dropper up here which has a potion of swiftness, some book, and a compass. I'm not sure if there's anything down here. Got some glowstone, just a whole bunch of quartz. So I'm not really sure what this is supposed to be, but definitely kind of interesting. To be honest, I haven't really looked at like what all mods are in this pack and is like what causes what generation. But let's just toss. Yeah, we can just toss that up there, and we can get rid of this extra quartz and go on about our journey. So hopefully sometime soon we actually find a snowy biome. I will say it is kind of putting something that's somewhat required in one of the hardest biomes to find, so you're left to RNG, is a little bit annoying, but we'll get there. We'll get it done. So BRB. So I kid you not, probably 2 hours worth of roaming around, 2.5, maybe even closer to 3, but we finally found what I think we are looking for here. So I'm hoping these are what are going to give us the little glacier pieces here. So let's just mine a bunch of this up. Actually, we can't break that. Interesting. Do we break this? So we need cobalt to get the glacial invincium. Yeah, fun. All right, let's since we're out here, let's set ourselves a spawn point. So let's just say ice, save, and then let's grab ourselves our little transporter And we're going to add in ice to this one as well. So now we can teleport back and forth here when we need to. And maybe as we, you know, get better picks and stuff, we'll be able to come back and get this stuff. But for now, I'm going to collect as much of this as we can, and I'll meet you guys back at the base. Right. Well, now that we have the glacial ice, we can look into making the book for deep mob learning here. I'm also trying to keep track of time. I'm noticing that we're cutting it a little bit close here. So I'm not going to get too far into this. I just want to make the basic machines and then make sure that we build our tier 2 rocket. So next episode, we can actually go to Mars. So now that we have the book, just like any other quest book, it'll kind of take us through everything. But the main things that we're going to need to build here, we're going to need a simulation chamber, a loot fabricator, and obviously a deep learner and some blank data modules. Now the blank data modules, that's how you set which mob that you're tracking. So as you can see, we have zombie, skeleton. I normally like just doing the zombies because they're generally the easiest to go through the trials with. And since we're not really caring what we're getting from this, at least right now, as far as loot drops and stuff go, I think zombies is going to be our best vet. But the simulation chamber, let's see, what do we need here? We need a couple ender pearls, glass pane, and a redstone comparator. Ooh, do we really not have any quartz? I have a feeling we have quartz, just not the stuff that it wants. So let's try this one down below. Yep, that'll work. And then we need soot covered machine casing. So we need soot covered plates, 4 of them. So that's going to be 3 obsidian and a redstone. You got to be kidding me. We have to have redstone. There we go. Where am I? All right. So let's just take out a couple stacks of those and toss them in here. So why is this not showing up here? Oh, we need soot covered redstone. And I believe that's just hitting it on obsidian, I believe. Let's see. Crafted by crushing redstone against a block of coal. Oh, not coal, not obsidian, coal. So it looks like you have to click it on and then hit it. I thought you could just hold down, but right. So we got 63. For some reason, the last one doesn't want to work, but we'll toss that back in and let's try this again. All right, soot covered plates. We'll just grab 16 for now. I don't think we need too many. I'll grab 2 machines just in case. And then simulation chamber and loot fabricator. So we're going to need another comparator. And then, yeah, we do have some yellow dye, so that's good. Now this deep learner, this is good if you want to carry more than one data module around with you. Normally you have to have your data module in your offhand as you're killing. But if you have a blank if you have the deep learner, you can store, I forget the exact number. I almost want to say 6 or something like that. Let's see. You can store 4. So we can put our data modules inside of here and we can farm up to 4 different mobs at the same time without worrying about it. Now, this blank one, do we have any more We don't. There's the blank. And then in order to get that to be a zombie, we just have to combine it with a piece of rotten flesh, and then we get the zombie one. Now, if we go and attack a zombie with this, it should progress from, right now it is faulty. Once we get 6 kills, it'll go up to basic. And I think the simulation chamber requires the data modules to be at least basic before it can put it in. So let's see here. If we put that in there, insufficient data and model. Yeah, we need to increase it to basic. And then once we do that, we can just toss it in here along with some polymer, which is this stuff right up here, which is not difficult to make. And it will essentially simulate a fight between you and a zombie. Obviously, you won't take any damage or get any XP or anything like that, but it will count as you killing a zombie, and it'll do it once per polymer clay. So the clay is almost like the fuel, and it's a 1-for-1 trade-off. And then as you go up in tiers, it's like basic, advanced, something self-sufficient or something. I don't know what the terms are right now. I forget. But as you go up, obviously the gap in between them widens. Like it's from faulty to basic is 6, and then from basic to, let's say, advanced is probably like 30 or something kills, and then to reach the top one you probably need somewhere around like 300 kills. But we can just toss that right there for now, and we can toss you back in, and then I just have to click this into here and then carry this in my offhand when I go out to fight. So next time it's dark like it is right now, we can go out and try to find ourselves a zombie. And we got a zombie right over here. So again, if we look at this, before it was 0 of 6. We just killed this guy. We should have gotten 1 for that. I'm just going to fly over here to get rid of these creepers so I can actually check this. But if we open this up now and we hold shift, we now have 2 of 6. So I just need to get 4 more kills, and then I will be able to toss this into the simulation chamber. Now, as you go along, if you start doing things like the trials and stuff like that, you can get into the glitch armor and the glitch infused sword. Now, the glitch infused sword is pretty cool. The more enemies you kill, the stronger it gets, and I think it maxes out about 18 damage. But it also counts, I believe, as 2 kills for every time you kill a mob with that sword. So once you get it, it's actually, you know, it is really nice to start farming with that. So I'm just going to farm up the rest of these guys, and then I'll bring you guys back to see what the simulation chamber does. Well, thankfully, that didn't take too long. There was enough zombies over there, but as you can see right now, we are now basic. So our tier has reached a significant or a sufficient level in order for us to toss this in the simulation chamber. And then to hit the next level, we need another 48 kills. So right now we're getting 4 data per kill. But once we toss it into the simulation chamber, it should only be 1 data per kill, I believe. So we need to make up a stack of polymer here, which is just going to be some clay, lapis, gold, and iron. Now, clay, this is one of the reasons that I started farming this down here. I'm always losing my teleporter, even though it's like big, red, and hard to miss. But we'll just toss this in, and we're going to have to be a little bit careful because we don't have a whole lot of gold. Gold is one of those items that we still need to craft with the compressor, so I try not to use too much of it. But so for 1 piece of gold, some clay, and iron, I get 16 polymer. So I can just pick this up. Let me grab the data module out of here, and then we'll just come over here, toss him up in there, and our polymer. So as you can see, it's running a simulation right now at almost 50% already, and pretty soon it should give us some overworldian matter. We do have a chance of getting pristine zombie matter. As you can see, it's a 5% chance right now. The higher the tier you get, the better the chance. And again, like zombie, it's really not going to give me much. Same thing with like skeleton and creeper. It's pretty much just going to give me those mob drops. Where deep mob learning really kind of shines is for things like wither skeletons, enderman, since there's really not a great ender pearl farm. Like if I need to farm for pearls right now, I'm going out for like an hour or 2 just trying to track them down. But you can also farm the ender dragon and the wither itself. So you know, it is a very helpful, especially if you have the power to run it. But I think the fabricator gets a little bit expensive at the higher level mobs. But let me see if I did get some pristine matter. So let me show you what the loot fabricator does. All right, so we have pristine slime, guardian, and zombie matter. So we'll just take the pristine zombie since that's technically the mob we're running right now. If I toss it in here, I have an option. I can get 64 rotten flesh, 16 iron, 32 carrots, 32 potatoes, or 16 copper ingots. So again, this is just other than the copper, obviously that's an add-on for the mod, but these are items that like in vanilla Minecraft, the mob would normally drop. So in this case, let's say we want iron. Since we're still kind of low on that, we'll just click it and it eats up the 1 pristine matter and gives us 16 iron ingots. So that is a good aspect of that. But what we're using this for is the overworldian matter. So let me just go into the quest line before I use this up here. We need 9 overworldian and 9 extraterrestrial. So I think the extraterrestrial comes from the higher levels. I'm not 100% sure. I need to do a little bit of refreshing on this mod. But if I just click this, you see that bottom bar on my screen, the kind of greenish one? That's my XP. So as I'm clicking it, I'm getting XP. So we're going to be utilizing this as an XP farm in order to level up our zombie. So it's going to be a little bit expensive, but other than going out and hunting mobs, it's really the only way to passively generate XP in this pack, as far as I could find. But now that we're done with that, I'm going to leave that for now. We'll let that run overnight in between the next episode and everything. But what I want to finish up is our tier 2 rocket. So we already have the rocket fins. We have the heavy duty tier 2 plates, and we have the nose cone that we made earlier. What we still need are 2 tier 1 boosters, which require these filled fuel canisters. Now, I think I made some of the fuel canisters before. I lie. Apparently, I did not make any of the fuel canisters before. All right, let's see if I can... here they are. Do we have what we need? We are missing some tin canisters, so we'll just grab 2 because that's all we need right now. And 1, 2, and then we'll come up top to our refinery, and we should just be able to toss these guys in here. And now we have 2 filled fuel canisters. That's really the only reason I made the refinery. All right. So, boosters. What are we still missing? We are missing yellow wool. Please tell me we have 2. Yes, we do. And we're missing 2 oxygen vents. Easy day. It takes the fuel, but it does not actually take the canister. That's actually kind of nice. All right. So we have the 2 fuel canisters, and now we need the rocket engine. What are we missing? We are missing 1 of the oxygen vents. Hopefully we have enough. We do. And give me... All right. So this should be everything that we need for the tier 2 rocket. So if we come on over here, and then let's see, tier 2 rocket. And you can just kind of shift click this stuff in. But I forgot the all important chests. Got to get that extra carry space, and hopefully these are chests. And the moon buggy required storage cells. This one I'm hoping will just take regular chests. Yes, it does. So because the storage cells weren't exactly cheap to make. All right, well, we have our tier 2 rocket. It's a little bit bigger than the other one, but not by much. All right. So let's just bring you guys out here. Where are you? Does this still require... I'm thinking that this is still going to require the 9 rocket pads. It does. All right. So we can just toss you down, and I think we still need to research Mars. So let's see what research papers that we have, because it does want us to go to Mars next, right? Yes. All right. So we'll toss the battery in, and toss the battery in the correct spot, and this will start ticking off. Now, another thing I did do is I added one of the energy cells right here. So this holds 18 million RF. Eventually, I will be taking this off. I'm just kind of doing it piece by piece here. I'm not really sure if I'm going to stick with solar panels. I'm just kind of curious to see what the hybrids and what the advanced do. But we have a little ways to go before we get there. I think... I don't remember the hybrid, if that was compressed magnesium. Magnesium ingot comes from Saturn. Yeah, so it's going to be a ways before we get there. So I'll probably end up taking these down before we ever get to Saturn and using some other sort of power generation. But you know, for now we'll take the free power. So all we have to do for next episode is we need to load this guy up with fuel. Let me see what it looks like. It's a little bit more roomy in here. We just need to load him up with fuel, and then we also need to look into the Mars rover. I'm not really sure how intensive that's going to be, but chances are I probably won't use it again. I'll probably go to Mars, find the dungeon, leave, and then make the rover at a later point in time when I have a few more resources. But we can just toss this guy into there for now, and it will load the fuel. So next episode, when we go to Mars, we will be all set. However, with that, I am going to call it an episode. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It helps me out greatly. And as always, guys, stay awesome, be safe, and I'll see you later.